Howdy, it's me, Monabyss. So a few things will be changing on my channel. One of them is that there will no longer be a video every Saturday, a Speedpaint. It will be changed to once a month. And the videos that I will be doing, the Speedpaints, will have a voiceover like today's video. I'm not entirely sure what I'll be talking about in any of the upcoming videos, but if there's anything you'd like to know or you want me to talk about, you can leave it in the comments or DM me on my Twitter or my Tumblr. There are a lot of reasons for these changes, and one of those reasons is time management. I'm working on my comic, An Impromptu Sense of Wonder, and multiple other comics and projects that I have going on, that I've had going on in the background for years. They're what my characters are for, what I've been drawing for. Another thing is I can't produce full, nice pieces of art in a week. Every week, consistently. I get burnt out, I get exhausted, there's a lot going on and I can't fit it into 1 week. The speed paint today took 8 hours, but that was with no beforehand planning. The picture was there for me to go off. With other pieces, I could have the week and I'd only get the sketch done. Lately it's actually felt like I've been doing a lot of really just not what I would say quality art. And so that's why I implemented that I was doing speed sketches, but then the speed sketches also became full pieces of art and it took up even more of my time, and I was like, it's not working. One of the other things is my real life. I've got a new job now and that takes up even more time. The other reason is I would really like to stream more. I have constantly thought, oh, I could stream, but then I would be like, I cannot stream until I finish the speed paint for this week. And sometimes I would be doing the speed paint all the way up until like 3 a.m. on the Saturday, so then I could just schedule it or put it out late. And I wouldn't have any more time to stream because once that speed paint was out, I would be on next week's speed paint, and then it would be constantly running on the end of the wick. I suppose I should get into the actual speed paint that's happening in the background. This is a redraw of my very first speed paint, Neon Gore. I drew this back in 2017. I was still getting used to my tablet. I was still getting used to coloring and the mechanisms of Paint Tool Sci. But I really did enjoy it. I still do. When I first thought of redrawing this picture, obviously I went to go find the picture, but the laptop that I had drawn it on, I don't even know if the original image is still there, and when I went to check the only place I think I'd posted it, my Tumblr, Tumblr's rules obviously banned it. I had no idea where to find it. Luckily, a lot of people actually really liked this piece. So people had actually sent it to me before. Big W's all around for that. I also took a screenshot of the original speed paint when they had the color wheel up, just in case, because I'm sure I put multiple overlays or something on top of it. A problem I found with a lot of my old art, especially this one, is that back then I didn't know what canvas size I was working on. These days I work on an A4 size and sometimes an A3. I'm trying to move more into A3s now that I have Sci 2 and my computer can actually handle drawing something that big. In the speed paint, one of the reference images, the one on the left with the background, is actually the original and the original size I was working in, so there is a major difference in the sizing of back then to today. These days I can put a lot more smaller details and more little things into the art, other than back then where I was working with the smallest brush and still only getting a very basic thick outline. I honestly decided to change a couple of things from the original piece. I don't think that I translated the crystals growing out of her very well, and the pins in her hair, while I liked them, they didn't really fit in with the rest of the piece, so I made the pins in her hair into a crystal ornament to go along with all the rest of the crystals in her. I did some small changes, like I made the crosses different because I think that the flat crosses looked a bit, it made the image look flat, and I think the original looks rather flat compared to what I can do today. I made her necklace or choker band, just a flat black band with a bit of a shine on it, rather than some detail that would have looked, I thought, a little off with the whole piece, everything else taken into consideration. The frills on the bottom of her shorts were taken off because I just didn't think they were needed, and took away from everything else. The original background had like a swirl of orange or yellow or whatever I used to connect the body pieces together, sort of. That was an afterthought in the original piece and just putting it in there, but I thought I would try and make it more into the piece by having the crystals be rainbow and then the swirl leading from her head into the body also be rainbow to help tie the piece together a little more. I thought it was a little unnecessary for the arm to be diced in so many places, so I made it just a couple of thick pieces. In the end, I actually really like how I rendered this piece. It definitely looks softer and more real than the flat coloring that I'd done in the original piece. The colors I feel like work a little better together, and I'm not shoving an overlay to try and make it fit together like I do with some other pieces. I hope for the most part this didn't have too many ums, ahs and likes in it, because I tend to do that a lot. I don't really know how to script, and I just kind of had like a couple of dot points and rambled for the most part throughout this video. Maybe it was cohesive, maybe it was not, and it was weird, but hopefully I'll get better at it. In the description there'll be links to my social media, my Tumblr, my Twitter, my comics, webtoons, and to pass. I'll also put down another comic in which I'm a background artist on currently called World End Butterfly. Go check that out, it's started up right now. And an impromptu sense of wonder is going on hiatus for a little bit while I try and get myself up a bit more of a buffer. So feel free to catch up if you'd like. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next month.